Hey guys, welcome back. We are on our third installment of how to make sunflower petal beads. Now, earlier we talked about leaving them out in the sun to dry, but the important part on that is that you don't want them to dry out all the way. You really just want them to shrink and lose a little bit of moisture, but you don't want to lose all the moisture because that's what's going to hold these together. So after you have dried out your sunflower petals, you are now going to put them in either a food processor or a blender. I have a blender at the studio, but I don't have a food processor. I tried the blender, and if you have a food processor, I would go with that because the blades are usually smaller and are meant to cut up smaller items. The blender sits a little bit higher, and it wasn't able to really grind up the leaves like I wanted. In fact, this, I don't know if you can see in there, but it just chopped them up a bit. It didn't grind them down to a clay like I wanted. So what I ended up doing was to take this little container and a hammer and just keep grinding on them until they became a paste. Because you want a clay, not a paste, sorry, a clay. You want a clay because that's what's going to hold that flower bead together. There's no glue, no nothing. All you need is the flower petals and for them to be the right texture. So after I did that, I balled up the petal clay, it's hard to see, into this little ball. Now, it may be bigger than the bead I'm actually going to have because once these dry, they're going to shrink. So you're also going to be really, really careful when putting the hole in here because this is very fragile right now. And until it dries, it's going to stay pretty fragile. So I have a pin in here, like a sewing pin, a stick pin. If you have anything a little bit thicker, I would suggest that because that hole is actually going to dry and it's going to be pretty small. So this might be really difficult to put on any kind of necklace or bracelet. But it was a pretty cool activity, and I'm excited to see how this turns out. It's a pretty yellow. It's a darker yellow, but it's nice. And this is from 4 sunflowers, by the way. I ended up using all the sunflower petals because the two sunflowers were not enough to produce a bead. So just to let you know that it may take a lot of petals to make just one bead. But if I read somewhere, and it was a good suggestion, if you get flowers a lot, or like on special occasions, you can put the petals in the freezer, and over time you can collect them, and this could be a project for later. So maybe if you get a loved one flowers for every anniversary of their birthday, of special occasions, then you can start saving them and you can make these for yourself as a nice little memorial. So I'll post another video and I'll show you what we make out of the bead, the one bead, if it stays together. Hopefully it does. It would be nice to have like on a little necklace. So thank you for your patience. If you're gonna make these, get ready to get dirty. And have a good day. Thanks.